Greetings, students, and welcome to week 14. This week, we're going to explore the future of search, what the experts and scholars and futurists think is coming down the road next. So I'd like you this time, again, to bring your own reading and defending your choice. We'll discuss the choices that you've made. You'll read Marky's last chapter, which deals with her notion of the future. You'll be listening to Danny Sullivan in our Voices of Search. At the end of the week, I'm hoping, I know you will submit assignment 2, as well as your reflection and your notes. We'll also talk a little bit about how you're going to be keeping up after this course is over, and I hope that at some point in the next week or so, you'll do the university's SIRS review on our course. So our essential questions for the week are, let's think about Marky's predictions. What's right? What's missing? What do the experts see as the future of search in a larger information landscape? Marky focuses largely on databases and library subscriptions. What's going on outside? What trends are most likely to impact you as an information professional? And again, how do you plan to keep up after this course? So among Marky's forecasts is that satisficing is likely to continue. In complete information tsunami, it may be the only viable option in view of the Herculean effort, she says, that would be needed to gather all pertinent information for an in-depth query and the time to fully assimilate it. So I suspect we will see satisficing, and she talks about the difference between the casual information need, younger people and their research, and scholars and their research. But it's something to keep an eye on, especially as we're working with users and students, and perhaps we're the folks who might make the Herculean task a little less painful in guiding the people we work with towards more than satisfactory and sufficing kinds of content. This one is almost a no-brainer, changes in database interfaces. I think I can remember so many times when I come in the morning ready to teach, opening an interface and having it look entirely different from the way it looked a couple of days ago. Things are going to shift, and as she says, just when you've mastered a search system, the vendor changes its interface or search functionality. So as an information professional, you should expect disruption. Shift happens, and it's really incumbent on us to be agile and to keep up with the shifts. We're going to have continued issues, as Marky predicts, disambiguating legitimate results. It will be our job to caution users about filter bubbles, about deception, and the serious need for evaluation, especially on the free web. So we're seeing content forums where freelance writers write light essays on topics that they would like us to find, where there's article or content spinning, where folks use software programs to rewrite articles so search engines will think they're different articles. And we're also seeing scraper sites where websites are being published that copy text from other websites and paste them into a new website of aggregated text. I often find some of my blog posts appear with and without attribution on a scraper site. So all in all, being suspicious is a good thing. Being skeptical is important, especially for our users. And we may need to investigate standards in web-scale discovery systems to make sure there's no bias, as well as an open discovery in the Open Discovery Initiative. And we talked about privacy over several weeks, but we really need, especially on the free web, to understand that searching isn't free, that we are trading in exchange for the ability to search. We subsidize search engines and we gain personalization by trading our personal data. They know what we want and where we want to be and perhaps where we are. And they know about our buying habits. They know about our viewing habits. And so if you are concerned about these things, and these are personal choices, and choices that you will help your users, patrons, and students make, do you want to guide them to searching incognito or to using alternate search tools like DuckDuckGo? So these are things you need to think about as you work with people in a professional setting. Marky wonders if Boolean search systems will continue, whether we'll be the only ones to be using sophisticated Boolean and command line searching. I suspect command line searching, that's probably true. And will search systems continue to evolve to employ smarter searching to compensate for users who want to behave like end users and want search boxes to behave like Google? She asks, and I ask as well, can't we have both and let the user decide on how they want to search within the system? Marky wonders, will licensed databases continue? Will administrators advocate saving money by canceling subscriptions and relying on Google Scholar, Google itself, and Microsoft Academic, which largely include the tables of contents of major academic journals? She argues that libraries are not discount retailers, or the databases are not discount retailers, but the specialty shops that are needed for disciplinary research, providing users with advanced functionality, and that serious researchers would really suffer if these database licenses or subscriptions were discontinued. She wonders also, will discovery systems prevail for academic content? And I think we're seeing the need for them as a Google for academic content, because we have so many one search box fans with the prevalence of Google and Wikipedia. But while that will work for some, others might benefit from being guided back from the web scale discovery system to databases that make best sense for their subject specific or content specific needs. So once they go out of the facets of the general web discovery system, will they benefit from specific controlled vocabulary, thesauri, index browsing, and find-alike features that are resident and native in the individual databases and maybe not in the much, much larger discovery system? Of course, since 2016, pretty much everyone is concerned about the rise of fake news. We're seeing that traditional news outlets are still around, and social media is heavily used as a source of news, and the Pew studies bear that out. We are looking at how news rises as it's rated and shared with great speed in a 24/7 news cycle. We've been talking about the filter bubble and personalization, and the idea that we are not all seeing the same news appear in the same way. We're looking at algorithms that have bias, and we're looking at how commercial and commodity focus affects the way news is published. And we're seeing incredible division in our country about who watches which news. We are also seeing a wealth of new resources, which we looked at in part in evaluation module, and also in our module on teaching about search. So the hope is that we're looking at approaches that come in a variety of different directions. One, from better educating our users, patrons, and community, and another in terms of most of our major social media outlets considering strategies for improving truth in terms of what they deliver. Markey offers a functionality wish list, and I'd love for you to take a look at that in the module this week. And we're going to have a discussion on what you think is most important. She suggests that a lot of the work that we've been doing in terms of understanding what goes on in the hood should be automatic for the end user. For instance, automatic facet detection in an extended Boolean system, improving relevance with automatic synonym detection, clustering. You've seen these features in a number of different databases. Within the databases, perhaps it should happen more in discovery systems. Improved controlled vocabulary tools connected to assistants that might pop up automatically and contextually. Improved database selection tools beyond discovery. How might users better understand that there is a killer database for them that they might not be recognizing? She suggests that perhaps source evaluation should happen on a more automatic or a supported way. Intelligence stemming in Boolean so that we don't need to worry so much about truncation, and much of that is automatic in web search. An automatic technical reader to detect relevance. You saw some prototypes of that use artificial intelligence. JSTOR was one example. More present online help that pops up when the user needs it, and the ability to turn off and on customization. I'd like to know what you think about Markey's functionality wish list. Also this week, we want to talk about what else is coming. What is going to happen with search? Here are a few things that I've been reading about and adding to our playlist. You'll have an opportunity to share what you think is going to be the most important thing to keep an eye on as we look at the future of search. And what is, of course, what should be included in your own search futures playlist. So you're going to be sharing that in the forum this week. What most excites you about the future of search? And then most importantly, I want to know, what is your plan for keeping up? This semester, we've looked at current awareness. We've looked at weekly search news. You've been keeping an eye on databases. We've been looking at what's happening in the world of search thematically. I want to know what your strategies are, because if you're going to be an information professional, you have to be more kept up than the rest of the folks out there. So we'll be talking about your plan as well. So to sum up, this week we're talking about our forecast for subscription databases and their users. We'll be looking at my playlist, and you will be creating your own playlist and thinking about your strategies for keeping up. Next time, it's our last week together, and we'll be having a wrap-up. You're going to evaluate each other's or offer feedback on assignment 2. And for your reflection, this time you're going to be drawing or creating some kind of image, a metaphor for what does a search landscape look like. I invite you to also consider doing it as a meme, and we'll be sharing our reflections.